This video was kindly sponsored by Squarespace. Hi everyone, it's Waze. I hope I've been doing good. Grab your coffee or tea or whatever snacks or drinks you'd like to have right now because this will be quite a chatty video. Also, you might notice the scenario is a little different than usual, and that's because I moved recently. Yay! I'll talk more about that in another video though. Today, I want to talk about the concept of art styles and my perception of it. I've been thinking about this topic for a while now and how I'd make a video on it. I feel like this is one of the biggest barriers that artists face while building their skills, and I can vividly remember thinking to myself, how the hell do I build my own art style? You know, the one that people can just look at a drawing and immediately know it's mine. And I know you probably thought that at least once too. But first, I'd like to talk about this video's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is a website building platform that can help you create your online blog, portfolio, or online shop. In fact, it's how I manage my own online shop, Milky Mart, when I'd open it before, you know, the end of the world as we knew it. Yeah. I'm very dumb when it comes to programming and stuff, and I managed to create a pretty cute shop, so you can do it too. It's very intuitive, easy to understand, and they have many templates for you to choose from, and they're also highly customizable, so you don't get stuck to this one look. It's good if you don't want to start your whole website from zero. Very beginner friendly. And you can use code MilkyWays if you like 10% off your first purchase. Now, back to the video. We have this craving for a strong visual identity that'll set our work apart from other people's and make it unique to us, right? Because we see it in the works of the artists that we like. We can recognize them without looking at the username at least 90% of the time? So what is that? How do I achieve such level of strong visual identity in my art? Quick disclaimer, what I'm going to be saying is purely based on personal experience and how I view things, how they make sense to me, and what I've done myself that made me realize this stuff. So there are other ways to approach the topic, and I'd love to hear it from you guys, but I'm going to be doing it my way here. At first, when actively trying to find my art style, which, mind you, started at around 14, keep that in mind for later because it's relevant. What I perceived to be an art style at around that age, my teenage years, was the way that a certain artist would draw certain things. So, for example, the way that X artist drew eyes would be their identifiable trait that would make me able to pick their work apart from others. It was only later that I found out just how superficial that view was. By that definition, I picked a trait that I'd repeat every time I drew a character, for example the eyes, and I would try to draw eyes the same way in every piece, because if I didn't do that, people wouldn't recognize my work anymore and I'd lose my visual identity. You might remember a time when every character I drew would have red eyeshadow under their eyes, which was about 4 years ago I think. And that's what I was trying to do. And people would praise me for it. I get comments like, I love how you always put red under your character's eyes. And that made me keep repeating that process because I thought, well, I guess it's working. I also thought, okay, I want to make triangle lashes my identifiable trait too because I like that in other people's works. So every character I draw from now on will have triangle lashes. And I thought that was adding to my art style of back then. So this kept repeating itself. I'd like something in someone's work, I'd steal it and incorporate it into my Frankenstein of an art style I had that consisted in drawing the same traits every time I drew a character, over and over again. You might realize how limiting this is as you're watching this video, and I did realize it then too, kinda. I wanted to try new things, but I had this fear that if I didn't draw the same way I always do, people wouldn't know it's mine and they wouldn't like it anymore because what made them like it in the first place which was my art style, or at least my definition of it, wouldn't be there anymore. The thing is, and this might be obvious to some but not for past ways, having an art style is not about drawing the same way all the time. And you can see it when you look at professional artists like Claire Wendling or Kim Jung-yi. They're not drawing things the same way all the time. They can draw completely different subjects and completely different styles, and you can still tell it's theirs. Claire can draw both cartoony and realistic animals, and her essence, her art style, can be seen in both. That destroys my old perception of art styles, because here are these people, professional artists, drawing different things in different ways all the time, and it still looked theirs. This got further solidified in my brain when I took an online art fundamentals course. They first train you to be able to take in as much unmodified, true-to-life information as possible, to then start having fun with it by changing stuff around and stylizing things. I experimented a lot and learned so much new stuff. I studied so much stuff that I would have never bothered to because it wasn't my art style, and believing that by deviating from my style I'd lose my identity, that after the course was done, I realized that the one thing that was stopping me from finding my true identity in my art the most was that perceived notion of art style that I used to have. I was stopping myself from trying out things that I genuinely wanted to. I was stopping myself from even sketching out something more cartoony because that wasn't me, when that couldn't be further from the truth. How can drawing something I genuinely want to draw possibly make me lose my visual identity if that visual identity is made out of things I like in the first place? Remember when I said I was starting to actively find my style at 14? What do I know as a 14-year-old to decide for the rest of my life that I like red makeup under the eyes of my characters, or that I want triangle lashes to be my thing? These rules that I made up for myself to force out a recognizable visual identity do not exist, and I can't help but feel like I'm not the only one who felt pressured to do this to myself. I see so many people worrying about their styles, and they're all so young. I'd like this video to, cut the chains that people like me put on themselves, because telling yourself to not try something new because it's not you just doesn't make sense. If you genuinely want to try or do something, it's already you enough. One of the things I've done that helped me come to this conclusion is going to therapy. I know this might sound a bit preachy, but I've been figuring out so much more about myself and how I work, what I like, what I don't like, how I feel about certain things, that I just know this. As long as I'm being genuine and true to myself in creating, I'll have my own art style. I like to think of art styles as a barcode now, and each bar of that code is a thing about you, what you like to see or experience. Liking Naruto, disliking Blue, disliking pop songs, liking Studio Trigger's animations, that would be me. Each of those things is a genuine trait of yours that can show up more or less on your works. For me, I've liked Studio Trigger's animations for years now, but recently I've looked at them much more for inspiration. I also realized I really like rhythm games and stupid fun stuff. I also really like pop songs like Charlie XCX and Doja Cat. I also really like goofy cartoons. I grew up having my favorite cartoon be Ed, Edd and Eddy, and I still really love it. I like fun things. I also like anime. And that's not shameful, okay? Don't judge yourself for liking the things that you do. Unless they're like illegal, then maybe see a doctor. But yeah, right now I have these bars really high on my barcode, but that doesn't mean my red under eyes bar isn't there, or the triangle lashes bar. They're still there, and I still think they make things look cool. But what I'm not doing is letting these 2 or 3 bars make up my entire barcode and define my entire visual identity, because that would make for a really bland barcode. Why would you force yourself to have a bland barcode when you can let your beautifully complex barcode show itself in the many ways you perceive yourself? If you want to try more cartoony stuff, do it. If you want to try digital painting instead of traditional, do it. If you want to try contemporary art, do it. Canvas painting, sculpture, drawing hands with rounder lines or eyes with small pupils, etc. Just remember that if you genuinely want something, it's already you. It's already in your barcode. And as long as you're expressing that barcode, it's your art style. TLDR, just be true to yourself and listen to your true self. try to know yourself and play around with the parts of your barcode without fear that you don't have an art style. I feel like this video is more aimed at beginners because it's a worry I had when starting out, and it's a worry I see many beginners have, so if this video can help you try new things and study new things for the sake of bettering your art, I'll be more than satisfied. If you're a beginner and you're worrying about your art style, you're wasting your energy and stressing out way earlier than you should. Just focus on experimenting and finding what you like, then do a lot of that. Cultivate that intrinsic motivation now, because when you grow up, you'll need a lot of it to keep drawing. Trust me. I'd also love to hear what you guys think of the topic. I feel that sometimes I'm a bit too optimistic about things and I can think in this fantasy-like manner while the world doesn't really work like that, so let me know your thoughts. I hope you liked this video and I'll see you on my next one. Also, let me know if you liked videos like this, where I would just sketch and chat. Yeah, bye bye!